Hey, Pete Stege here from B2B Clarity. In the last 7 days alone, I've heard from 3 different business leaders some form of, I can't get enough leads from my marketing. It's a common problem, and I found that it usually comes down to one of two things. Either they're black boxing it, they're doing some things with the hope that leads will come out the other end, but they're not really sure how, or they're trying to do too many things because they were told to, or they see them as important tactics, but all those moving parts just don't work very well. I found that you can get leads from a marketing campaign no matter how big you are if you focus first on strategy, come up with a concrete plan for how you're going to do it, and then choose your tactics to make that happen. I want to talk about 3 phases of that and give you some tips on how to do it well. First, targeting. There's 2 TAMs that you need to think about. There's total available market, which is how you pick the kind of people or companies that need the product that you provide, right? Industry, company size, region, could be other things. But you can't stop there. You need to go to the second TAM, which is total addressable market. Those are the people within the available market that you actually have the ability to reach. That's important because now if you build a campaign on who you can reach, it can be much more real world. You figure out your addressable market by discounting the available market based on things like your presence in the market, your market share, competitor situation, and the growth health of the market. Is it growing or not? Second thing to think about is for your awareness campaigns. So I separate awareness from interest. It makes campaigns much more accountable that way, because in reality, those are 2 separate things you need to accomplish. Awareness is about creating awareness in the mind of your target of your business and what you do. You're not trying to get an order, and you're not even trying to get a lead out of this. You want them to have you in their brain. I found that to do that, you need a very straightforward metric of, I use 7, but it could be a different number. 7 impressions for each of your prospects, targeted prospects, within a set period of time. And that depends on how long their decision process is. So remember, with your addressable market, you know exactly who you're targeting. So now you can come up with a goal for awareness on what share of those people you're able to reach are you going to invest to reach. And that way, if you know that, now you choose your tactics. Is it LinkedIn ads? Is it whatever other type of awareness campaign you're going to do? Now you can measure, did I create the impressions for the number of people I intended to in the time frame I intended? Then let's talk about interest campaigns. This is now what you're going to do to focus purely on getting them to raise their hand and say, I'd like to, whatever it might be, your next step. These are what your leads are going to be, right? So the first step is to decide, what is a lead? What does it mean? Is it a referral? Is it a content download? Is it a request for proposal? What is it that you're asking for so that your sales team or whoever has what they need? Once you know that, then you can figure out, again, the tactics you need to deliver on that. An important thing to think about with interest campaigns is the difference between passive interest and active interest. Passive interest could be something like a click on a website or a view. Those are interesting, but not the end goal. Still, you have the opportunity when those happen to do something, to respond in a way that moves them farther down the path. So you need a response plan, both for your passive interest leads as well as your active interest, which are the leads that you're capturing. What's the next step? So I hope those are helpful ideas for you. Certainly not the whole story. And I'm going to create videos in the future that dive deeper into those 3 parts of lead generation. The important thing I want to leave you with is You don't have to be incredibly complex to be effective. If you have a dozen marketers on your team, you can probably get a lot more tricky, a lot more sophisticated. And there could be value in that, but there is a law of diminishing returns. I encourage you to start simple. You can always add additional tactics and additional steps in your process once those first core steps are working to your satisfaction. I'd love to talk more about this with you. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn or on my website.